Hey guys, so I know it's after the concert and everything, but I kind of wanted to talk about everything that happened. It was pretty interesting trip, and I didn't get to tell you guys any of it. I posted a little bit on Twitter, but it was actually kind of a funny story. Um, well, I made it to Massachusetts, all right. I made it to Boston, all right. I made it to the street where I was staying, all right. But then, um, what I was staying was actually at a guest house and not an actual apartment. So there's public alleys behind them. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna park there, and I did, and that's relevant to the story later because I knew they had a back door and I had a lot of stuff I had to carry. So I was like, that'll work. So, but I didn't park at my building number. I parked a couple over because it was like a tow-away zone, so I didn't want to get in trouble, so I just parked in another spot. I'm like, yeah, everybody does it. Because a year ago when I went to go see Megan Trainor, that's what my aunt did. We rented a guest house and she just kind of parked randomly. So that's what I did, thinking it'd be okay. And um, so what happened was I left my car behind back, went to go to the front to get my key because it was closed, and because I was coming back around to grab my stuff with my key, this guy like kind of stumbles and leans against the building. I'm like, oh boy, I drunk. And then he starts like leaning and meandering towards me, and I'm like, oh god, don't freak out, just keep walking. I'm like trying to be a tough girl. Totally not a city kid. Totally from a small town. Small town girl right here. But anyway, so I avoid that and I get him back to my car and I bring stuff up the stairs. Little did I know that I was on the fourth floor, which, in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm a big person. I have exercise-induced asthma, so by the time I get to the stairs, the first two are fine. The third one's where I'm like, this is about my limit. I'm dying up the fourth staircase. I get half my stuff up there because that's all I could carry at one time. I catch my breath for a few minutes and I go down. And the only thing I'd had at this point for dinner was pizza and Mountain Dew. So by the time I get all the way back up the stairs again, my heart's going. I'm like, stop, breathe, breathe. No asthma attack, but my heart wouldn't stop. So, I have, eventually calmed down, and it was after 8, and it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock by the time I got situated, and I was like, it's too late to start sewing right now, so I made my I want to hug Niall sign. Here it is. There's a story behind it, and I feel like I need to explain it because of everything. My sign is I want to hug Niall, and there's a story because when I first became a One Direction fan in 2015, one of the things I had heard was that Niall gives the best hugs, and being, the biggest fan of Niall Horan out of the four of them, I was like, I want a hug from Niall, so I, in 2015, made a I want to hug Niall sign, and he didn't see it, he didn't comment on it, and one of the things I loved about One Direction is they always commented on people's signs in the crowd, so I really, I had written them a letter 3 months in advance, in September, hey, I'm coming to your show in December, I'm really excited, please give me a shout out, here's my sign, this is what I'm going to be holding. So I told him months in advance, he probably got about a couple weeks before, so they probably didn't even see it. But, realistically, but in my head, I'd given them 2 months to prepare for this sign. And they didn't see it, so I said, well, if I ever see Niall Horan or One Direction again, I'm going to make a better sign. So I did. I made a second sign. So this is the first sign I made, and this is the second sign I made. So I think the second one's better. Anyways, so I wanted to bring it up because it kind of reminded me that with Harry Styles' embrace everyone at his concerts, that people might have thought I'd been pushing that, and the reason I think that is because someone was trying to push an Irish flag on Niall last night, and it kind of bothered me. I was like, you know, um, he's not Harry. The thing that I loved about One Direction was they were all their individual people, and they still are. They all have their individual personalities and everything. And it just kind of bothered me that somebody was pushing this flag on him so hard, and eventually he took it, but I felt like it was pretty forced. But anyway, so that's the story behind the I Wanna Hug Niall, is because of that. It's not because of the whole Harry embrace thing. Um, but, uh, yeah. So I worked on that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. So like 10 o'clock at night. I was tired. No, actually it was after 11 because my mom called me. So it was after 11, and I went to bed. And I slept amazingly well, only I had feather pillows. And when I was 18, I became allergic to a lot of things. Pet dander and feathers are a couple of them. And so I ended up taking one of my extra bags that I brought and just like stuffing the pillows in the bag and sleeping on my bag. So it was pretty inventive and creative, but you know, I think if you're gonna have feather pillows, you might want to advertise that because there's an allergy. Um, I break out and I'm like, that's the last thing I need before a concert, just break out in the face. Um, so I kind of makeshifted pillow, and it worked. It worked well. And the next morning I woke up and I started working on it, and I was like, I gotta make my dress for the day. So I made my hair things first because it wasn't quite 9, and I figured 9 o'clock would be a good time to start sewing my outfit. And to be honest, I was not very happy about my outfit, but I wore it anyway. I put way too many ruffles around the neck. I felt like I looked like a clown. The clown ruffle here. I'm like, yeah, with it coming out, I really want to look like a clown. So that was kind of, and the skirt, I was trying to recreate a skirt I used to own when I was in high school, and to do what I wanted, I really needed a serger. So, but I felt like it was very bland, very straight. I wanted it to ruffle and expand, and I didn't have enough material. So, what I'm gonna make a lot of revisions today to it, but I spent 7 hours on it, which honestly it shouldn't have taken me that long, but I just kept messing up and trying to figure things out, because as much as I sew, I am still learning so much about sewing. I did get one compliment on it, but anyway, so I spent 7 hours. Now, mind you, the last thing I had ate was pizza and Mountain Dew the evening before, about 6 o'clock. So I was getting really hungry. I went about 24 hours without eating. I'm not impressed with myself about that. I know better. But I was making sure I was at least drinking water. I just get so focused when I do projects that I lose track of time. So I was like focused on making the shirt and the skirt in time. So yeah, then, you know, it got pretty interesting from there. I left for, as I was getting ready for the concert. Now, I had a very small room with a community bathroom in the hallway, so took a quick shower, you know, came back in to get ready. I had fake nails that I did, but as I was putting stuff in my trunk of my car, I lost 3 of them. So it was like I just spent the next 5 minutes trying to take them off. I packed up a lot of my stuff, including my spare clothes and my charger for some stupid reason, and my camera, of course. And I put them all in my trunk, and someone told me that I shouldn't park there because it was reserved parking and I could get towed. So I'm like, oh, well, thank you. So I was like, because I was just going to grab something to eat. It was only 5:15. Like, I'll grab something to eat on my way, and then I'll go to the concert, and I'll walk. It's only like a mile. I'd be fine. It's like, you know, town kid here, thinking a mile's fine. So I was like, you know, that'll work. And so I was like, I had to move my car. Well, by the time I got my car to public parking, and actually got in and spent money to park my car just for the night, it was now officially 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I had to walk almost 2 miles from that point to the concert. And I didn't get anything to eat. So once I got in, the first thing I did was hit the food and water because I knew that all I had at the hotel was water and Mountain Dew and I didn't want to drink any more soda. So I was like, water. So I ate pizza and water. I did miss my sister. I tried to get tickets for the both of us for meet and greet, and it didn't happen. Like, I got a download of Niall's song, but I didn't win the grand prize of winning a meet and greet with 2 tickets and a hotel stay. So if I had won that, my sister would have been there with me, of course. And yes, Kara, I know you're watching, and I really wanted you there. It's really hard that she lives in another state, being twins, we got that closeness, and even though we can't stand to live with each other, I wish she would live near me. I keep convincing her to move back up, but her and her husband keep finding reasons to stay. They must like New York. So I finally get to the concert, get food, get a drink, listen to Gavin James. So happy that I had learned his songs, but to my left of me was a mom and a daughter, and the daughter looked like she was dressed like 80s styles, like she had the big poofy curly hair with a half ponytail up, and she had the neck collar with this like no sleeve look, and I was like, oh, and the high-waisted pants with a belt, and I was like, oh, very nice, very 80s. I liked it a lot. It was very cute. And then the person to my right, I had one person to my right. She didn't even talk to me. But listening to Gavin James, really enjoyed him. And then I got a pretzel and some more water before Niall Horan came on. Really enjoyed Niall Horan. I felt like the crowd didn't respect him though. And being big on respect, that was hard for me. Between shoving the flag in his face, there were a couple of raunchy dancers up in the balcony, and there was someone yelling inappropriate innuendos in the front, and he kept commenting like that needs to stop. And at one couple times he tried to get the crowd to quiet down, and every time he tried to talk, people would just cheer so loudly, and it made me feel so bad. I'm like, he's trying to talk, guys. Can't we listen to what he's got to say? I like Niall because he's got that kind of quiet personality, and he's goofy and he's funny, and he knows how to light up a room with his smile. And I just love that kind of attitude, and I love his music, and I love what he stands for. I love what all the One Direction guys stand for. So but to actually be there, I was so close. It was so awesome. I was like a few rows back. It was a small venue, so he could see almost everybody, and it was awesome. I held up my sign for him that said I want to hug Niall, and at one point security guard was coming by. I kept holding it up and down. And at one point one of the security people was coming by, and he looks at my sign. I'm like, oh crap, it's too big. And he actually goes like this, and I'm like, oh, my sign was upside down. So I turned around. He actually caught me after and talked to me about it, and we both had a good laugh about it, me and the security guy. So that was funny. My favorite part of the concert though was when he sang Old Town. A lot of people put a lot of work into this, and I wanted to take a moment to shout out and say that it was really, really good. A lot of people took the time to make hearts for this town, and almost everybody had one. And when Old Town came up, and people like had the flashlight on their phones, and they had the heart on top of the phone, and they were just waving it back and forth, so it was like lit up hearts all everywhere. It was one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen. It was very good, gorgeous. It made me happy to see that. So I had a good time with that. And then there was no taxis when the thing got out, so I was like, well, I will walk. No, I didn't want to walk. I wanted to find another way. So there was the subway right there, and they're like, well, I think one of the subways goes by where you are. And I'm like, okay. So I was on Beacon Street. And I took the train. It said take train C. I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at the stops, and I'm like, I think I know Franklin Street. So I'm like, okay. Took that, got off on Franklin Street, and I got a one-way ticket, by the way. And I was 2.5 miles further out than I needed to be. So I caught another train back. This nice lady driving the subway let me back on despite my ticket. And I got off. I was like, okay, I need to get off on Kenmore. And I got off at Hawes 2 stops earlier because I was afraid I was going to miss my spot in Kenmore's underground. So I get off. I have 650 numbers to go further. So I'm going. I'm talking to my sister on the phone because it's 11:30 at night and it's pitch dark and I'm in a town I don't know. Sketchy stuff. Um, so I'm talking to my sister, and then the road splits and I keep going straight. And the numbers go down and I get to my number and it's not my building. So I look across the street. I'm like, oh, well, those kind of look like it. So I go down there. That's not my building either. So I pull out Google Maps. Yeah, I needed to go further up a side road and further left and further to the right. And I'm like, and then I finally find Massachusetts Drive. And I'm like, yes. And I get there and I'm like, if I had gone to Kenmore, I would have saved 20 minutes of walking. So I was doing exactly what my mom didn't want me to do, walking in the middle of the night into pitch dark by myself in Boston. So then I kind of went to bed, got some sleep, woke up at 9, finished packing, left at 10, got my car, went to head back, went to McDonald's, of all places, for food in the next town over, and I went to eat chicken tenders, and they were like just barely cooked, like they had the raw texture and taste, but they were white, and it tasted off, and the chocolate muffin I had didn't taste like chocolate, and the ice mocha I got had an aftertaste, and I was like, this isn't food. I was like, I like McDonald's back home. What is wrong with this food? So I ate it. Wasn't really impressed with it, but it's like I think they grow things differently here. So and then I made it uneventfully home. So it was a long trip, and this video is a lot longer than I intended it to be. So here, now I'm gonna go fix and quick edit the outfit, and hopefully you guys will like it. Bye.